You're welcome back to the Gavel. Now, in the next few episodes of the Gavel, we'll go back and look at the major highlights of the National Assembly in 2015. But today we'll begin with the leadership crisis that rocked the 8th Assembly before, during and after the inauguration of the 8th Assembly. The most defining moment in the National Assembly in 2015 is a leadership crisis that rocked the Senate and the House of Representatives. It is not an exaggeration to say that the 8th Assembly had a rocky beginning. The drama that saw the emergence of Senator Bukola Saraki as Senate President and Senator Nat'l as Deputy Senate President may be one for the history books. The emergence of Yakubu Dogara as Speaker and Yusuf Lasun as Deputy Speaker was also not without controversy. Weeks to the inauguration of the 8th Assembly, there was high-level politicking and horse trading for the seats of the principal officers. In the Senate, the major players who overtly indicated interest for the seat of a Senate President were Senator George Akume, Senator Bukola Saraki, and Senator Ahmed Lawan. In the House of Representatives, the major contenders for the seat of Speaker were Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, Yakubu Dogara. When it became apparent that the APC was not going to come out openly and endorse any candidates, and none of the major players were ready to shift ground, the party organized mock elections for the seats of the Senate and Deputy Senate President and Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Senator Ahmed Lawan emerged as the party's choice for the position of Senate President.
We have called them to order.
The mock election in the House of Representatives also produced Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila as a choice for the position of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. On Inauguration Day proper, many Nigerians waited eagerly to see those who would emerge as principal officers of the National Assembly. At exactly 10 a.m. inside the Senate chamber, the acting clerk of the Senate began the inauguration ceremony. But it became evident that some lawmakers from the ruling APC were absent. It was later learned that the APC lawmakers went for a meeting with the party's leadership. The proceedings, however, went on without them. And just like that, Senator Bukola Saraki emerged unanimously as the Senate President. The election of the Deputy Senate President began immediately. With two candidates put forward, an election had to be conducted. And when the results were read, Senator Madu was declared winner and immediately sworn in. Attention then shifted to the House of Representatives. In a tension-filled atmosphere, an election was held to decide who would become the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the lower chamber. After the votes were cast, Representative Yakubu Dogara emerged as the Speaker of the 8th Assembly. Weeks after the inauguration, the effects of the emergence of the principal officers of the National Assembly against party wishes lingered. The newly elected leaders tried to maintain order and peace in the chambers, but the APC and lawmakers who pitched their camp with the party's desired candidates were still smarting from the defeat. But did the leadership crisis have any effect on lawmaking in the National Assembly?
Yeah, it affected it greatly because looking at it now deeply, I discovered that my party actually mismanaged the situation from the beginning, because it's still very difficult to believe that we are forgiving ourselves in all the roles that we are playing. For instance, I'm not a member, I'm not a chairman or deputy chairman of any committee, even with my experience as a legislator. And the rules of the House is there that experience matter in any appointment and in any in the House. But you'll be shocked that those that are less experienced, those that are part of legislative business for the first time, are chairman and deputy chairman of committee. It's all on the role we play in different angles.
In my own view, I can clearly say that at the beginning, of course, there were a lot of hiccups. But as it is today, I can assure you, and from what you have seen and Nigerians have seen, that has settled down. All those issues have fizzled out, and you can see the committees have been formed. All the various committees have been busy. So many ad hoc committees have been set up, a lot of work going on.
This is not the National Assembly we hope that we will start with when the issue of leadership crisis caught up with the activities of the lawmaker. For a better part of the first 4 or 5 months of the National Assembly, it was crisis galore. Crisis ranging from the leadership of both houses that dovetail into the committee, chairmanship, and the deputy chairman, which is still ravaging. And from there, trying to get the confidence of Nigerians on our side to be seen as their own parliament that they have voted for and they are expecting so much from in this new dispensation of new government. And being the first time since 1999 that we'll have a new government entirely in place. So, and with the new government coming in with the change matrac that we will be bringing about changes in every facet of the overall well-being of this country. So what really happened during the first few months of this administration as regard the National Assembly was not a good news, a palatable news at all. But give or take, now that we have all resolved and believe that yes, Nigeria is greater than each and every one of us or any individual, we have agreed to set aside all these differences. For issues that are still pending in court, we have allowed the judicial process to take its course and take its decision in that regard.
Lawmakers told Channels Television that the leadership crisis in the National Assembly was fueled by the interference of political parties in the choice of who emerges as principal officers in the National Assembly.
What came out on the 9th of June was largely the fact the senators decided that they as senators want to choose who their Senate president is, and that nobody else will choose their Senate president. They will go out in line with the Constitution and our rule books and choose who they want.
Yeah, I think the political party, whether APC or any party, should not go into deciding in public who should be elected. They should resolve their issues in-house without third party knowing. And the issues that took place in the National Assembly here, if APC have chosen Dogara, PDP will have voted for Femi. That was not that PDP liked Dogara. PDP never liked Dogara. They never liked Femi. They are not also angry with the two of them. But they are made up their mind that they were ready to pay back what they did in the Tambua issue.
I'm a party man and I believe we should listen to what the party decision. At the same time, parties should equally guide its members and respect their opinion and wish before any action is taken by the party regarding any major decision. I think the members of both chambers of the National Assembly who are members of that political party must be invited. They must dialogue. They must agree. Until they reach a conclusion, a dialogue on that matter, I think the matter should still remain where it is until the final decision is taken by the party and all the members of the party.
The leadership crisis at the beginning of the 8th Assembly has thrown up some issues to ponder about, namely, should political parties interfere in whoever emerges as principal officers of the National Assembly, and should it entirely be left to the lawmakers themselves to elect their leaders? This debate is likely to continue and would come up again when the 8th Assembly ends and it's time to elect a fresh principal officer for the National Assembly.